Hello everyone and welcome back to Starmade. Today we're going to look at things that are a little more advanced than the basic stuff. So we're going to talk about a few of the basic structures that are in the game, such as shops, where you can buy, sell, and buy recipes. Each of these little green blocks around here is a Plex Undetonator, which means it's a respawn point for you if you select it by exiting your ship, walking up to it, press R, and now your spawn point is set. Then we also have asteroids or rocks, which can contain like rock, sediment, and these things, which are right here, which are minerals. You can use to sell to the shop for high prices or refine them into other things such as armor plating or power blocks or thrusters. There's also stations, which if we go to the non-ships, there doesn't seem to be stations around, but the stations are NPC spawned buildings which contain a lot of resources and can be used as a building platform for you. There's also planets, which of course have different minerals for different colors, and different types of settings, and there's also different kind of like decoration blocks, you would say, like plants and cactuses and alien flowers and all kinds of fun stuff. And then there's also pirate bases, which contain a lot of different turrets, but if you can able to destroy them all and destroy the faction block, you can get to the loot inside, which contains lots of random different stuff. And it can be very useful. And that's about it for just the regular stuff that spawns around. See, there's usually many rocks per sector, and stations seem to be coming up here. You can see over there's different kinds of planets. Red usually has red rock. Blue usually has ice or terrain, or terran. The white can be more the grassy ones and the ice ones. I don't see any around, but purple ones have the alien planets. Yellow ones have the desert. And white ones can have, yeah, ice or terran. There's also stars, which if you get too close to a star, it can start damaging your hull, but that doesn't hurt players. So you can lose your ship, but you'd have to fly out of the range of the star before it, you can build something else. Otherwise, they'll just keep destroying it. Now, I'm going to show you some basics of putting in other kinds of things than just lasers. So go to my shop here, we'll go to the ships, and we can buy a salvage cannon. Buy a couple of those, and we'll buy some missile arrays. We can buy a cloaker, a jammer, and some explosive blocks. So, we want to enter build mode, and now let's say we want to build a tiny little salvager. So we'll put the computer on, and we'll put our salvage cannons down here. And you can notice up here in the right corner, it says you place a control block without having a control block, a controllable block without having a control block selected, which means if I select this, they're not glowing purple. You can use V to assign each of them, or you can hold Shift and V and it selects all the adjacent ones. Now, the special thing about salvage cannons is they don't benefit, they benefit from being grouped, but they do have a cap. So you come in a salvaging computer, you can see, oh wow, it's going to take 1.87 seconds. If we take one off, it's going to be 3 seconds. Now we keep putting them on, and you see now it's down to 0.5, and you put one on, and it only reduces it by 0.07. So we get to the point that each block you place doesn't add as much time. So usually you want to have just a larger amount of arrays. I'll put that back. So you would put one array there, and one array there. Now you can see it is a bit slower than normal, but 0.8 seconds is still fast enough, and you have 2 beams. So it might be more advantageous is to spread them out rather than have one big one, where you would get a faster speed, but you only have one beam. Oh, let me just turn the beams back on because there we go. So you only have one beam when you take that, and you have two. We can test it out here. So see, come over to the rock, and let's take one out, put one there, and now you have one beam. You can see it collects it really fast, but it's going to take forever because you're only doing one block at a time. Or if we take this, I don't know why that disappeared, but see, it's a little slower, but you can collect a lot more faster. Oh, accidentally got out. Hop back in. Take these off. And now we can try missiles out. So we have the missile computer. And we'll take our missiles. Now you want to put missiles in groupings, but you also want to make groupings at different dimensions. So you see this nice long one will have a missile that fires really far if you remember to select it. See, the longer the array, the faster the missile flies, which is good for making sure it hits your target. But you see, the reload the time is a long time. But if we do this, see the missile flies pretty far, and the reload time, that's still 38 seconds. Make a wider array, and it'll fly farther. You see, missiles kind of do weak damage when they're in small amounts. So you kind of want to have a lot more missiles than normal. Even though these missiles are the strongest missiles you can get, they just don't have any form of lock-on or way of keeping it to the target. So you make longer arrays if you want it to fly faster. You make taller arrays if you want to have faster reloading, and you make wider arrays if you want to fly farther. And then just the amount you have within the array determines your damage and your splash damage. So let's take rid of that. Now we can put on a cloak and one of these. So we can put a radar jammer, and you see, if I go into here, oh, yeah, if you were to see, my block, my little diamond is invisible right now. And we can put, oh, take that off, and we'll put this. And now see the cloaker. It takes a lot of power, but we'd be completely invisible to anybody that was around us, which is great for building stealth ships or ships that are just meant for spying, since you can't be seen. However, you also need to put the radar jammer on as well as the cloaker, because this, otherwise your diamond would appear and people would just be able to follow that forever, even if you are invisible. However, you see, it takes a lot of power, so we'll put one more there, and one more there. But you see, it gets exponentially more power. So it tends to be advantageous to just have this one block. Wait for it to, and then you can let it regen. That would be good for spying on your enemies or just going around without having to be harassed by pirates. See, here we can see I have a couple new blocks, which are the dirt and red rock, which aren't very good to make your ship out of because they don't really have any armor and they're kind of heavy and they not exactly the prettiest. So let's look at this. Now we'll talk about these, which are the disintegrator blocks. So what we can do is fly the ship out here, get out, and watch as it hits. You see it does damage. It does damage on impact. Oh, great. So we're hopping our core, build another one of these. I can look, it did a decent amount of damage, even compared to just a missile. So they'd be good if you stack them up and then you throw the ship at your enemy and potentially take out large chunks of their base or something. Now let's see if we can find a station. Stations spawn often regularly, unless the server you're on tends to have lower spawns. Or you're just really unlucky and you don't find as many stations. So you see the server can also have different speed settings, which the higher the speed, the more dangerous it can be, because you can end up colliding with stuff that spawns in, especially if you have a large ship. So there's just nothing out here. See, there's different kind of asteroids too, like this one, which is an ice one. There's another ice one, just a regular rock one, and sometimes you can see the occasional purple one. And they just kind of randomly spawn around in different sectors. Just another rock one. And there's no stations out here. I guess you can use the time to talk about what you would want to do when you start out. So when you want to start out, you'd want to build your tiny little ship, and you want to look around for a station. Because stations have a lot of stuff to them. But there's just no stations around here. They contain a lot of resources that'll help you build your first ship, and help if you don't like those resources, you can sell them to the shop and build new ships, or buy new stuff to build with. So here's another type of asteroid, which is like the sandy one. It has bits of sand from like desert planets. This one's more like a frost covered one, since there's ice in random places. They can spawn in many different varieties, different shapes, and contain loot anywhere from like L1 minerals to L5 minerals, if you're lucky. Okay, yeah, there we go. Finally, a station. Now, it'll appear purple on your map, the purple diamond. If you select it, it'll highlight it, and you can use it to find the station really easily. Sometimes stations can spawn one sector away from each other. But you see here, an NPC station. It has hangars, these large power blocks, connecting hallways, a big giant disc on the top, then an elevator in the middle, and these little things which are right here. They're plex beacons, which provide a lot of light, and they're good for making like signal ships. So you see, they're not the most efficient design though. See, there's a lot of wasted space. If I were to come into those, see, you come in here, there's a lot of wasted space. There's just like nothing in here. You fly up here. Oh wow, look, there's nothing in here. Some people have actually taken this and built, entire stations out of it, and made it super effective. But most people just harvest it. And the main things you want to harvest are these, which are the plex lifters. They can sell for quite a bit. And you also want to look at these over here, which are power blocks, because they can help you build your ship up by having to save on power, or you can sell them for quite a bit. Each station holds around 600 power blocks in all. Of course, you're saying, wow, this is going to take forever by hand, which is why we have these salvage cannons. We'll put our salvage cannon on, put another power block, put 2 more thrusters to overcome the weight. We'll select our salvage computer, and we'll start placing blocks. Some people like to have a decoration there because it doesn't matter what dimensions your salvage area is, as long as they're all connected. So if I were to say put one up here, it would be a whole different setup than there because they don't have corners. There's no one facing block that's touching it. You put them all together, you put it down here, and you can sit here and harvest it. Collect a few more pieces of ore, coal. And you don't have to worry about getting out your ship, so you can quickly get away if pirates were to attack, or you get attacked by a player, or something else happens. It's always good to be prepared. These here are plex lights, which you can use to put on your ship or station, and they provide light. There's also different color holes, such as the green ones, the red, the black, and the blue. So they give you a good collection of variety to build your first ships up or sell to the shop and try and build a different kind of ship. Collect a bit here. Then also what you want to grab is this, which is a plexiglass. It can sell for a very high amount, so you want to grab some of that because you want to make that space money early on so you can really get into the good stuff of building. When you have plenty of money to buy the supplies you want or hire somebody to build something if you like. But most people like to build their own things their own way. So let's go back to this. Oh, there's another station, which, see, that's advantageous because you can mine out this station. You know, look on your map and, oh, there's another station. You go do that real quick. You grab these. And this is kind of just a tiny little miner you can use to collect a few blocks. But it's not going to be lasting very long because it doesn't collect blocks very efficiently. It's not fast. It doesn't collect anything very far. And it's only collecting 1 block at a time, so you'd be sitting here dismantling the station forever. So it's not that great to mine asteroids at the start. It's more or less you just want to grab any minerals you see because they could be useful for selling. Let's see. What else should we see? Plex lights you put on. Oops, that's not plex lights. There, and you see it makes a beacon. You put one there, put one there. And now your ship glows. You make a little ball of fury, or a little ball of sun. But it can get blinding to other people, or to yourself if you put it in the wrong place. What next I'll talk about is docking. So you see over here on 0, this is see our little white beam, it's a docking beam. So you can put docking modules on, and say you want to make a landing pad on the top of this. So you place a docking module down, and then you place enhancers around it, or you place enhancers down here in the hangars, because they don't actually need to be touching the docking module as long as they're connected. But each one increases the size, and you can dock larger and larger ships to the point that if you made this entire one a docking enhancer, you could fit an enormous ship on the top. Then maybe you'd want to place turret enhancers down here, so then you don't have to worry about pirates coming to your station when you're away, or when people, you know, when you're not there to protect it yourself, and they'll automatically fire on an enemy. Something else, see, there's not really a lot to these stations because they're just kind of built should be functional, but not really fashionable. They're all the same that spawn in. If you go to another one, it's going to be the exact same one, unless it's a pirate station, which looks a lot different. But we'll find a pirate station in another episode. So we'll try and go back to our shop. We can look at some other stuff. Flex lights, dirt. See, here's different ores. There's extranium and insanium. Each different type, you can go for different recipes and different quantities. L1 is usually just the weakest and doesn't really provide a lot. It only sells for like 25 credits and that's it. When you get to the stuff like the L5 minerals, which sell for 2,500, no, they sell for about 10,000. You can get some really potentially useful power. You can just sell a bunch of those at the shop and then buy whatever you want. Come to the shop. I always like to orient myself. Hit B. So shield, dispensers, cockpits. Oh, we'll buy one of these and I can show you. So we'll take that, go to inventory, hit 6. So let's put a cockpit up there. So you hit left and right and it switches you between all different views. You can see it would give you the ability to see your beam from up here, or your dock from here, different missile arrays, and AI module, power beam. What is it? Okay, here's factories. So you need an input and you need enhancers. Each enhancer increases the speed of the input, but it also causes the power drain to increase, which causes it not to be practical on ships, or I don't think you actually put it on ships. So you put it on your station, you put the enhancers on it, and you put a recipe, which you buy with blocks. In this case, 5,000 input blocks, and you can build an input recipe which would cost such things such as hull or minerals or even pieces of terrain like ice or lava or rock or red rock, and you'd be able to make one of these instead of paying for them with credits. And when it comes to things such as see an astro technician computer or ship cores, it'd be advantageous because you can spend a couple pieces of 3 credit rock to make a 4,000 credit ship core. Build block. Build block's pretty good for placing it on something such as a ship or a planet or station, and you can build it. So you can take this build block, put it on a NPC station, and start building on it right away. Action, power tank, decorative. Each decorative looks different, but they're only really for decoration. Let's see. What else do I need to talk about? No. Okay. Well, I think that'll do it for now. Oh wait, minerals. Yeah. See. So the Exogen, 34 credits, 34, 345, 345, 6, and it just goes up until this, which is 345,000 or 3,456,630. So one of these could make your day, but you'd have to find a shop that could buy it. See, these ones only have 1 million, so you wouldn't be able to sell that L5 minerals here. So you'd either have to go to like a player-made shop or find one shop that a lot of people are buying from and it has a lot of credits in it. But see, here's the Plexon detonator. Here's the shop module, which you can use to put on your station or you can put on your planet, and you can turn it into a shop where you put your inventory in, such as, say you want to sell a rock and you want to sell it for 50 credits. So you put it in there and you set the price to 50. Or maybe you want to make it super cheap, so you put it in there and you only sell it for 2 credits. Or you put the missiles arrays, you put any of your blocks in there, change their prices, but you can also put it in there and say you don't want to get credits, but you want to get hull because you're building something large. So you say, if you buy from me, you pay in blocks. So you can pay with soil, or you pay with hull if you're in desperate need for hull. and people can sell you their hull and you give them the minerals or blocks that you don't need. Now, I think that'll do it for this episode, but next time we'll go into discussion more on a cost-effective salvage ship you can build, and maybe we'll get into some more advanced hull building and make ourselves a starter ship. But for now, we'll be signing off, and I'll see you next time. And as always, you have a wonderful day.